It's February 2nd, 2013, and I'm getting ready to plant some early small red potatoes into the high tunnel greenhouse. And the reason I'm doing this is because they have sprouted, as you can see. We have this container covered, but they're not a storage potato at all, and actually they kind of got placed on the bottom of the pile and I forgot about them. So they've really gone to sprout, and so the choice is really to eat them, which, as you can see, they're kind of wrinkled up and shriveled, so there's not a lot of nutrition value left in the potato because it's putting all of its nutrition into growing the sprout now. And so I could just compost them, and that would be okay, but I decided I'm going to plant them into this little 4x30 section of the high tunnel and just see if we can get some early potatoes this spring, and then we'll dig them out and replant something else in here after that is done. So ideally, when you're planting new potatoes, seed potatoes, they're not going to be at this stage. This is a very sketchy, probably situation at best, but in the interest of seeing what happens, I'm not losing anything because they're potatoes that otherwise would probably just go to compost or to chickens or something. I decided I'm going to plant them. So I like to plant potatoes about a foot in rows that are about 1 foot apart, and then I just alternate them. So say this first one is going to go, I'll just reach in with my gloves on my hands, reach down into the soil, pretty deep, and push that little guy down in there, and then just bring the dirt right up over the top of that sprout. And then ideally in a few days we'll see some green growth coming out, a few little leaves popping up, and I'll do these about 12 inches apart down the rope, underneath the rope, and then each row will be about 12 inches over. So it's kind of close for normal potato planting. Usually it's suggested that you plant them a little bit further apart for the rows and such, but since these aren't going to be in for very long and I'm just looking for some early potatoes, I'm going to try it and we'll see what happens. I think it will be okay. You just want to make sure that the potatoes are planted the right direction. It's not really the end of the world, but since these got such huge sprouts, I'll just make sure that the sprouts are going up on the right end. And sometimes you run into some clods of dirt that make it a little harder to dig down in there. That's alright. Potatoes don't need to be terribly deep. And you can keep, if they kind of start surfacing up, which potatoes will do sometimes, they'll kind of push their way up to the surface, you can always add more dirt and more mulch onto the top of them.